Hear me? No? Okay, maybe you can hear me now. Does it work? Oh my god. That was so unprofessional. Good job, Felix. I was expecting my expectations of myself are always really low because I don't know, I know I'm gonna fuck it up in one way or another sooner or later. But look, I didn't expect that it was gonna be so fast. But yeah, it was pretty fast. My mic wasn't connected. Oh well, it was, but the settings weren't right. Can you hear me now? I don't know if someone is watching right now, but if someone is watching, hello, welcome to the show, to the live stream. My name is Felix. You probably know me because it's not like people that don't know me are watching this. I'm not that type of fame. As I was saying, we're listening to nice non-copyrighted jazz because we're classy here. We're not simple. Non-copyrighted EDM type of live stream. Here we are with classy jazz because we want to feel like we're in a cozy restaurant. We're here now. Yeah, thank you. Hello, David. Hello, Beatrice. David, for those who doesn't know, which are no one in this case, is my roomie that is right there. But hello, David. Nice to see that you're here. You got this. Thank you. I'm gonna try my best. So, hello everyone that is watching right now. I'm really sweaty because it's really hot and I'm nervous. To be honest, I don't know why. I've done this many times, but I'm nervous now. But I don't know why. So, as I was saying, we're listening to jazz because we're classy. Look at this lighting. It makes my skin look soft and all pretty. I have good skin, you know, guys. I grew up really lucky. I'm one of the lucky people in the world that didn't got acne when they grew up. All my friends did. All my friends got disgusting acne, and it was really fun to laugh at them because, well, they got bad luck, and that's not my fault. I grew up being skinny. That was my fault, and I got a deformity in my chest that is kind of, if you see it, well, you can't see it now because I have titties, but I used to not have titties, and I used to have like a big, like the chest going out, and it was everybody made fun of me. That's what I'm going to. And I didn't have acne, but they did, so I had to give it back a bit, and I always made fun of them. Always. It was really fun because they always just had to go through a bunch of treatments to take it out and spend so much money, and like treatments for acne are really tough. They're not just the pimples just fall off. No, you have like their skin becomes dry, then they get more acne, and then they get a bit less, and like it's an awful process. The two loves of your life. Yes, my two loves are here watching me. Thank you for coming. It's so nice. I hope you listen to me well and everything is going as planned. Today, special day, because we are filming a podcast. Haven't done a podcast in quite a while, and generally I used to do the podcast with a guest, but I want to do the podcast alone. I want to find a way to do the podcast alone because I like the idea of having a podcast. It kind of fits perfectly with the person that I am and what I like to do in life. One of my favorite things to do is to talk to people and to just talk about life and share a bit what I have in my mind. The music is a bit loud for me. There you go. David can be your guest. Oh, yeah, he could. Indeed, he should. Maybe if you want, you can jump in. I don't mind. And jump on the action. Get out of your room and snuggle up in my back and hug me from behind. Don't get too jealous, Beatrice. Or better say you are his guest. Maybe I could be his guest. Indeed. Well, yeah, technically I'm his guest. I'm living at his house. So, okay. So, yeah, I don't know. Doing a podcast is kind of one of the things that I would really like to do in my life and really accomplish because it fits perfectly with what I do. One of the things that I like to do the most is just talk. I don't stop talking, and some people might that might annoy, but most of the people kind of appreciate it. There's 7 people watching this. This is welcome, everyone. It's weird. That's a lot of people. But we're gonna do a podcast alone, and we're gonna start soon. But right now, I wanna just interact with you guys. Like hit the room a bit. I'm so sweaty. It's disgusting. It's just ugh. But well, as I was saying, jumping back to the thing, they used to have acne. I used to laugh a bunch about my friends that had acne because like they're my friends, so you're there to bully them. That's essentially what you do. You bully them so they become stronger. When other people try to bully them, they already have a shell that you built, so they're protected. But I used to bully them about and make fun about them about their acne because, well, that's life. You can't do anything about it. You just got a shitty hand and you have acne, and I didn't. You have this beautiful skin that I haven't done anything to treat. I just put water and it shines and it's pretty. But karma came, and after I finished school, I did came to Belgium, and I moved out of Mexico, and I fell in a big depression. I felt like shit. I lost myself. I didn't like where I was. I didn't like what I was doing in my life. But we're gonna get into that later in the podcast. But all of that to say, with all the changing, and generally when I get stressed and when I start to lose myself and lose the sense of control in my life, generally that generates stress in me. And in that case, that was the first time I started to get a lot of acne, and I had a lot. It was fucking disgusting. It was, I don't know, I looked like a chocolate bar with nuts inside. It was disgusting, it was awful because my haircuts were shit. They've always been shit. Like there only have been I've lost my voice. I've just had good haircuts since 1 year, thanks to Beatrice that is in the chat right now. It's really crazy because I didn't realize how shitty my haircuts were till she told me they were awful. And now that I know they're awful, I can't stop seeing it every time I see myself in the past. Like I have some old TikToks from like 2 years ago, and the haircut is fucking awful. And I'm so glad I don't have to go through that anymore. It's way better now. I don't have to think about haircuts. I never like to think about haircuts. Like every time they ask me, hey, what do you want as a haircut? Like when you go to the hairdresser, I didn't know what to say. I just, you're the expert. Tell me, what do you think would go well on me? I don't want to have to think about that. I know the truth is hard, but you are welcome. Yes, the truth was hard, and it's true. But now look, like, okay, I'm still getting bald. I'm completely getting bald, and I don't know how much it's gonna last. I was walking today after the gym, going to home, and I saw this dude. I think he was a dad, probably because there was a kid, or he was a pedophile, I don't know, but I would assume he was a dad, and he was getting in the bus, and in his back he has a big hole like without hair, and my dad doesn't have hair here, but he has hair here, so I know that's where I'm going. Like it's weird to see a version of yourself in the future in front of you and know that I can't do anything to change that. I'm going there no matter what. It's quite tragic, and I'm sad about it, but what you gonna do about it? So let's interact a bit with you guys. How you doing? Are you having a good day? Does the live stream looks good? Do you like the setup? I think it looks pretty freaking cool. The lighting is getting better every day. A bit of purplish around here, a bit of more warmth around here. I like it's balanced. I really think about the how to make a balanced image and good lighting, and I think for what I have, like it's pretty neat. It's pretty neat. It's just one light setup and another light there that makes it blue. It's pretty simple. So hope you're having a great day, guys. I don't know who's watching right now, but whoever is watching, thank you for coming along to this little podcast. Shall we not waste more time and go straight into the subject of the podcast and start with this? Reformed plus actually. None is watching. Well, that happens sometimes, but I've been doing this for quite some time, and I know how to talk to no one, so it's not a problem for me. I'll be your guest another day. I look disgusting. Don't worry, babe. One day you can put on a suit, put some nice hair, and you'll jump right into the live stream, and you'll be perfect. Are you streaming somewhere else? What do you mean streaming somewhere else? Yes, on YouTube too. Yes, I'm streaming on YouTube and on Facebook. I don't really want to live stream on Facebook, but there's the option, so I just add it. And if someone wants to join from Facebook, like my aunt, maybe she wants to join from Facebook, it's extra. But yeah, YouTube and Twitch right now. We are watching. Want to say we are none? I would not say that, but Reform the Plus said it. YouTube viewers are definitely nobody. Well, pretty hateful little guy, but that happens when you do watch streamers on Twitch. You can start to fill up with hate and want to give it back, but that's okay, dude. Maybe you had a bad day and you just want to spread some hate. That's okay. That happens to the best of us, so don't worry about it. But well, let's jump right into the podcast. Okay, it's gonna be really simple. I'm gonna do the podcast, so just start talking like I'm doing right now, but with the subject in hand. In this case is what to do after school, the whole process of discovering what you want to do with your life and that. But I'm gonna first do an introduction like I always do, because you need to introduce the podcast. And I'm gonna be recording all of this. You can obviously interact during the podcast. There's no need to just sit and listen. You can always interact and add some insight into it, because look, I don't know everything about life. I'm no one. So if you want to give your opinion, you're always welcome, and I'll gladly listen to it, and then in the edit might cut it out, I might put it in. Who knows? We'll see how it goes, but I'm just gonna record everything, and then I'll figure it out in the after process, in the post-production. Okay? Sounds good? Sounds great. Are you ready? Am I ready? I don't know if I'm ready. Let's see. The audio is sounding fine. I'm already starting to record the podcast. It sounds like it should. If I scream, okay, it's a bit loud, but I think it should be good like that. Okay. So. Okay, I can start the podcast. Let's do this, shall we? Thank you everyone that is here for listening to this podcast and this live transmission of the podcast. I hope it's gonna be entertaining for you guys. I hope I'm gonna do a good job to entertaining this lovely evening. So let's get started with the intro. Generally, I always try to do it a couple of times and I improvise because I never know what to say. But if you think it sucks, that's normal. That's why the post-production exists, so you can mess up and erase it so no one sees it. So let's start with the intro. What should I say? What's up, guys? Welcome to Pocket Stories episode 23. It's been a long time since I've done one of these episodes of the podcast. This time again, I'm alone. I'm doing this alone because I don't like this. I went too far on the explanation. I'm just gonna go straight to the point. Let's do it again. Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the... Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Pocket Stories. In this episode, I'm alone and I'm gonna be talking about what to do after you finish school. What do you want to do with your life? Even if you're not in school, maybe you're finishing college and you want to figure out what to do with your life, and you're questioning if you should follow your dreams or just follow what your daddy is saying. So we're gonna talk about all of that. I'm gonna give you my experience and what I know about life, or what I think I've learned about life, and we're gonna talk about it. So welcome to Pocket Stories. Oh, I just remember that I used to, when I used to do the live stream as a podcast, I used to have a deck with buttons, which was my mixing deck of DJing, because I learned to DJ not so long ago. And I put some sound effects, which were the introduction sound effects and all of that. I really went hard on the details. It was so much work to put out, and it was so unnecessary because it didn't really change the experience. But it was cool. I think it was a nice detail. When you do something, guys, don't forget to go full in. No one is right now. Thank you for Beatrice and David and whoever is watching right now the live stream. But generally speaking, people don't. I generally do the live stream alone. I generally speak to no one when I'm talking to this. And even if you're talking to no one or doing something just by the beginning, I think you should try to do the best you can to make it professional. So maybe one day it can become well viewed, in my case. Like I said, putting a thing around me so it looks pretty, a chatting box, some text box, good audio, good camera. Like, those are things that are under your control and are not defined by if you have viewers or not. And another aspect of life is like, if you're gonna do a surprise for a gift or a birthday party or something like that, like you can go and just do it the classic way, or you can spend 30 minutes more and make something that is truly memorable. It doesn't take a lot of effort, but it does make the difference. And I think it's important to apply that in life and in work. And that's what I try. If I do something, I try to do it well. So a good thumbnail and blah, 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 and try to learn a bit more on how can I improve it. But well, let's get back to the podcast. How I haven't done a podcast in a long time, so this is a bit hard. And if I can't find my words, you have to excuse me about it. So let's start with this. Hey, my name is Felix Human, and this is Pocket Stories. No, why? I already said the intro. I don't have to say that. I don't like the music. Like, this is supposed to be jazz, but this is guitar jam backing track. This is not jazz. Like, it doesn't sound like the jazz that I would like to use on my videos. We need something more soft, like no copyrighted lo-fi beat. Yeah, that sounds pretty nice. Okay, so let's start with this podcast, shall we? So okay, so let's jump right into the subject. What to do after school. Let's first start with my story. What did I do? When I was in school, I was never the good, smart kid. I wasn't the worst. I was still in the hardest category of the school, of what school proposed you. There was literature, there was economy, there was engineering, and engineering was the hardest with math and all that shit. All that shit. I can't even talk. All that shit. With all that stuff, it was the one that required the most effort, and it was the one that required the most hours inside the school and the most work. And why did I took that category? Why did I take that genre when I didn't even? It's really hard to find my words right now. So why did I take So why did I take that section of the school when I was shit at school? Because I wanted to, like, as much as I was a kind of a party guy and I just like to enjoy my days without really studying and doing the homework, I still knew that I wasn't dumb. I still knew that I could do the hardest thing if I wanted to, and I wanted to have it as an option. I didn't want to go and do literature like the lazy people that smoke weed in my school. I wanted to be like also the smart kids, but still party. I think that's the coolest. Like, the coolest people in life are not just the ones that have the best grades in school or the best results in their business. I think that the coolest people in school, at least, is the people that manage to have a great amount of like good grades, but still have a party life and still manage to have an exciting life. If you have managed to balance those two at the same time, I think that's way more badass than just being the best at having good grades and being good at math and all of that. I think that's a bit lame and it doesn't really apply in the real life. But well, that's another subject. So I wasn't really good, but I still went to this hard path of school and decided to be an engineer. Because why did I want to be an engineer? Because, you know, in life, in school mostly, they give you this amount of options. They give you math, sport, literature, economy, story, history, and a couple of others. But you have to choose one of those and dedicate your whole life to that. Like, it sounded a bit weird, but like, I choose math. I like math. I was good at math. I wasn't the best. Math was really hard in my school, but I wasn't the worst. I was pretty good, and from all the options that they gave me, I decided to go and dedicate my life towards math. I wanted to study applied math. I think that's how it's called in English. I don't know, but in French it's math appliqué, and I wanted to do that. But not because I was passionate about math. That wasn't really my passion. I was just like, okay, here's the options, choose one, and I decided that this is the one that I dislike the least. It's not the one that I like the most. So I decided, yeah, I'm gonna study that. But then the last year of school arrived, and I started to think like, okay, what am I gonna do with my life? Like, what am I gonna do? The clock is ticking. Like days are coming by, and I still don't know exactly what I want to do. Do I really want to do math? Do I not? I don't know. It was a chaos, and the time kept on coming, like getting closer, that you have to take a decision, and I had no clue. I really don't. And you're not supposed to have a clue, because when you're in school, you just are all the time in school. You don't have any other time to think about, like, do I really like what I'm doing, or do I really want to do this? You don't. Your whole world is, it's school. So how are you supposed to decide what you're gonna spend your life in? But well, in this case, I had no clue, and the clock was ticking. I was getting closer to the day where I had to choose, and I had no idea. And I was gonna go and do math, but one of my friends told me, like, dude, if you have no idea, just take a gap year. Just jump and take 6 months or to a year, and don't jump straight to a university where you're gonna be doing something if you're not completely sure that you want to do it. And he told me that, right? And in my head, the first thought that I came, it was, this, I can't do that. My parents would never agree to do a gap year. Why would they? Like, my parents are cool. Like, nowadays I like them a lot, and I think they're really cool. But when I was a kid and when I was at school, I thought they were so strict that they never let me go out. It was always a drama to go out. I was always punished because I was a little twat. So honestly, I thought, like, there's no way they're gonna let me. But I still asked them, and I asked them, like, look, I don't really know what I want to do, and they told me, like ask him, can I take a gap year or some time to figure it out? And they told me yes, and I couldn't fucking believe it. Like what? My parents, the strict ones, allowed me to take a gap year, and they told me, like, look, they sat me down and they told me, it's really simple. There's two options here in our family. There's two options. Or you study and I maintain you to study, and I pay your roof and your food and all of that stuff, the minimum, and I pay the university and I maintain you. Or you work. And I do pay the roof because you're living in my house, but I do pay the food inside the house, but I don't pay anything else. And that sounds a bit strict in the first sense, because, okay, I just have two options, and or I study or I work. But in reality, that gave me the freedom to choose what I wanted to do with my life. And in reality, what it mostly means is, like, we don't want someone to be just slacking off in our couch and not doing anything with their life. We want someone that is going to truly do something with their time. And that was a good push, because it gave me the freedom to choose whatever I wanted, with the freedom to also choose to not study if I didn't want to study. So that was a big relief. So I decided to take a gap year. And that was a really good decision. I'm so glad that I didn't just jump into studying math, because the reality is I might have liked it, but I don't think I would have been passionate about it in any way, because, like I said, it's not really the option that I liked. It was just the one that I disliked the least from the options that they were giving me, and that's not a reason to dedicate your life to something. So I took a gap year, and like they said, or you work or you study. So I got my ass into work. In that gap year, I stayed in Mexico living with my parents, and I did 6 to 7 different jobs, because I started with one and I got bored and I didn't like it, and I just quit it. And some people would be like, what, you quit it so fast? Why would you do that? The reality is, like, you can always quit a job. And it's important to know that you can always quit your job, no matter if you have a 1-year contract. I've had 1-year contract with H&M, and I quit it after 1 week because I just didn't like it. And you're allowed to do that. It's really cool. But I started first. I worked for during the summer. That first summer when I finished school, I started working in where they sold paper in the school. Because the kids go and buy the books and the papers and all of that in the school. I worked there for like 2 months, moving a bunch of paper, moving a bunch of boxes that were really heavy. That was a good job. I got paid, not a lot, but I got paid, so it wasn't too bad. The rest of the time that I wasn't working, I was doing a bunch of YouTube. I was doing a bunch of videos that I liked because I enjoyed doing it without really pressure. And that was my hobby. That was what I liked to do all the time. And I just didn't really think about it that as a career yet. I was just trying to figure out what I wanted to do. And the best solution was to just work in a bunch of different things and figure it out. So my first job was that paper thing in the school. Then I quit it and I found a job as a in a marketing company, a big building in the best area of Mexico. I got a kind of a job as a seller of, what was it? Like, it was a peel, a little peel that was to put on the, where you put the gasoline on the car, and it would kind of clean it and make it more efficient so it would last longer. I didn't create that. I just went there and sell it. At the time, I thought, wow, I'm gonna get rich. This is awesome. This is the best thing in the world. I'm getting, like, every sale, I get a percentage. And if I get more people into that, I get benefits from it. And oh, I'm gonna get rich from this. But the reality is I lasted, 3 weeks there. I had to go in suit to that place. Wait, give me a little second. Hey Felix, I can't hear anything from here because I'm at the festival, but I have to say I am very glad to have met you at Rampage Open Air. Have been filming purely S-Log 2 ever since. Oh, that's so cool to hear, Alex. Enjoy the festival that you're filming right now. Alex is a really cool guy that I met in a festival that I just filmed not a couple of weeks ago. He was super nice, and we talked about life and a bunch of different things about being a filmmaker. So super glad to see you, brother. Let's go back to the story. So I had to go in suit every day. It was a really professional, high placed building. It was a co-worker type of place, so it was really impressive as a person that just came out of school. And I thought, like, wow, I'm gonna get rich. Like, they're telling you, oh yeah, if you invested like 6 to a year in this place and you do manage to get a bunch of clients, you get a percentage and you can really become and start to get a bunch of income. And if you get other people to start selling this product, there's a percentage of their sales that goes towards you and stuff like that. At the time, I didn't know it, but that was a full-on pyramid scheme. I had no clue. I was just happy and excited, and my dad was like, that's complete bullshit. There's no way you will make money with that. And I was like, but you have no idea. You don't know how the world works. I was just excited because I thought I found I hacked life. I just thought I knew more about life. But the reality is, it was a big pyramid scheme where they just want more people to be selling the product and essentially you get a percentage. But like, if you really like, there's a ton of ways to make money out of these sales, but in reality at the end you just invest a bunch of time, and the only way you truly manage to get a bit of money is by getting more people to sell the product. So in reality you're just evolving into this pyramid of people that are under your control, and at the end I'm glad that it just lasted like 3 weeks, because what I realized is I don't like this. Because they were teaching me about marketing. They were teaching me about all of these different techniques to sell and convince other people. And I even went to this co-working meeting where you would meet a bunch of other people with their little cards and their names and their contact that are selling other things. And you get in a circle and you pitch your product to other people. And it was just so... I didn't like it, because I didn't like marketing, because it was, instead of trying to create a good product and change the world or improve it in any way or to build something that is really nice, it's just, how can I sell as much as possible? How can I make as much profit? How can I influence these people as much as possible? And that just sounded so wrong. That just sounded so at least not for me. Like, my goal isn't really money. I want to build something interesting. So it just didn't work for me, and I'm glad, because now I know that that was a big pyramid scheme. So I left that, and I started to search a job, and I was looking. I was still doing YouTube around that time, and I didn't want to do marketing, but I asked the dad of a friend for a job, and he gave me a videographer job in a marketing analysis company. It was a big company about, I don't remember the name, but it was marketing analysis. So instead of just like when a company wants to put a product in the market, instead of just putting it straight away and figuring out if it's gonna work or not, and figuring out if it has an impact in the world, he first goes to this marketing agency that does tests first and does an analysis of the market to see how they can put this product in the best way possible so it really works when they put it out into the world. And that's what that company. So I got hired by them to make videos for them, and I lasted what, 3 weeks there too. And I quit it because I also didn't like marketing. Again, I felt like that this is just not for me. But in this case, instead of just selling stuff, I did do a video for them, and I did a video explaining marketing analysis. I didn't know shit about it, but I had to learn from A to Z how to do that. And not only that, I learned how to do a animation, because I had to explain, like I had to create a video short enough that explains what this company is doing, but with animation. I didn't even know how to do videos properly, and I already had to do animations, but I found ways. You always found ways if you really want to. A good phrase that I like is like, look, I don't know how to do everything, but I know that I'm gonna figure it out how to do anything. So just if you hire me, I can't promise it that I know what I'm doing, but I'll figure it out, no matter what. There's always a solution. So yeah, I did do that video. I got paid a good amount, so that was pretty cool, and it worked out great. And then I figured that's where I figured out I don't want a job in an office. I would kill myself if I have to work in an office, because it's so, I don't know. There's a vibe in the office that I hate. Waking up at 6:30 in the morning, going to work, taking a coffee downstairs with a little bread, going up in this cubicle before everyone, starting to work. Yes, you have a certain level of freedom, but it's just not what I like. It's kind of the absence of life for me in an office. Not all the offices are like that, but that one certainly felt like that. So after that, I was like, you know what? I don't care. I want to do kind of videos here and there, and in the meantime, I want to do a job that is just simple and exciting, and I would like to do it. Even if it doesn't get me anywhere, I would like to do it. So I went to Decathlon, which, if for the people that don't know what Decathlon is like it's like a big franchise of sport gear, but like low price, and it's really fun. Generally, the stores there are really fun because you can play around, you can test the things, you can play with balls, you can like play ping pong, and it's really fun. So I was like, that sounds like a really fun job. I went there and I got hired super fast, because it's not hard to get jobs. Like, to be honest, it's not hard. Like, okay, for sure you need the better your CV is, that's better. Your curriculum is, that's better for sure. But I think knowing how to talk to people, it's just easier. Like, if you go to an interview, I'm not saying the big ones that are really important with the big companies and all that. I don't know anything about that, but I'm saying just a normal job, 9 to 5. So if you want to get the job, generally, from what I've seen, because I've gotten jobs really easily, it's really simple. You just need to tell them what they want to hear. Think of it like that. Instead of trying to be your best, just give them what they want. Generally what they want is someone that is available all the time, or like as much time as possible. And they want someone that is motivated, that wants to stay long term, because it's way less expensive to have a long term employee than to have a short term employee. They want someone that wants to grow in the company. So you just need to give them that. Your plan is to stay. I really like this company. I'm excited. You need to sound motivated. You need to sound really social, but like disciplined. So just give them what they want, and it's not that hard. Generally, they give it to you, and then you just, if you work bad, like I worked at Decathlon for a month and a half, and I didn't got fired. This is a good one. I didn't got fired. How I describe it is I got invited to quit, which is not the same. I didn't got fired, but I got invited to quit. They got me in a meeting like after some time, and I knew I was gonna quit. I just didn't want to work there anymore. I didn't like it, and I want to do something else. But my parents didn't want me to quit because I already quit it so many times, and they were like sick of it. But I was like, I'm gonna quit. I don't even care if they want me or not. I'm gonna quit. And so they called me to this meeting, and I went there. And she's like, okay, well, Felix, I've been feeling like you don't seem to really like this place or to enjoy the time that you spend here. Can you talk about that? Like, she really is like kind of inverted the situation. Instead of just telling me that I was working bad, she told me like, you don't seem to like too much this place, and like it kind of invited me to quit. And I at the time I didn't really realize what she was doing. Like, I could have completely, hey Dania, sorry, I could have completely ignored. Sorry. What's going on? Here we're in a podcast. I'm telling about my story of going, like what happened. The subject of the podcast is what to do after school. And right now I'm telling my story of what I did. Right now we're in the gap year that I spent and all the work that I did. And this is my fourth job in the gap year or something like that. I worked in Decathlon, and they invited me to quit. So they were really nice about it. Like, I didn't realize it at the time, but for them it's way less expensive to that I quit that they fire me. If they fire me, sometimes they have to pay stuff, or I think so. So it's way more beneficial for them if I quit. And I did, like a dumbass, but I did. I didn't want to work there, so I quit it. I left, and I didn't tell my parents. And I didn't know how to tell my parents. And like a week passed, and I didn't tell them. And then I had a meeting with the director of the school to ask about some university and stuff like that. I was going on my skate, and I fell and broke my arm. And that was perfect because I didn't have to explain them to my parents and why I wasn't going to work, because, well, I couldn't work. I had a broken arm. So it was perfect. And the problem is they started asking me later, like, hey, don't they have to keep on paying you because, like, you're unable to work, but you still, like, they should pay you. And I was like, I'm gonna look on it, but I just wasn't working there anymore. But I think to this day they have no clue. Okay, so after that, I still had some time, and I decided, you know what? I know I like doing videos. I've been doing videos this whole time, but I should try to make some money out of it. Like, what do I like in videos? Let's try it. I'm not the best, but I can do some cool videos. So let's try to get a client. I like events. I like parties. How can I get that? And I started sending a bunch of messages to this company that did the big travel party with my generation to a beach. Like, we went to a trip with my whole school generation. We partied like crazy, and it was with this organization that did events. And I sent them messages, and I tried to climb up the contact of the people to get to the boss and offer him my services. And after a month and a half of like sending messages and trying to get and climb up that stair, I did it. And I still to this day, I can't believe I managed to get that, because it was a big company and they accepted to work with me. They liked my videos, and they were like, yeah, that would be nice. We need a videographer here in Mexico, and we could send you to different places. I was mind blown about this. Like, I couldn't believe, like, wow, I can work as a videographer and in parties. I couldn't freaking believe it. So I tried, and I did it. And then he, like, before the first video, he asked me, hey, and what's your price? What? What's my price? Oh my god! Like, that, when that question fell, I had no clue. How do you know what your price is? If you like, I like my videos, but I don't know what is a lot, what is less, what should I ask? But what I knew is they're a big company. A big company has a lot of money. so I can ask a lot of money and it should be fine, no? So I asked for what in that moment seemed like a ton. And even to this day, it's like, wow, that was brave. So I sent him a message and I was like, look, my videos, as you can see, they're semi-professional. Obviously, they're not in the level of a filmmaking company, but they're still good. They're still semi-professional. I have to ask a budget that is up to that standard. So I told him, like, for this first video that is really simple and that it's just gonna take me a bit of time, I will ask you 5,000 pesos. But then obviously for the normal videos, for a shooting or a editing, I will ask you 10,000 pesos, and if you want both, it's gonna be 20,000. And I sent the message. I was paralyzed. I was like, I lost the client. There's no way he's gonna say yes. 20,000 pesos. If you don't know how 20,000 pesos nowadays is like 1,000 euros. And for people that are in Europe, it might not sound like a lot, but for a little guy that just came out of school and it's the first time that he gets a client, it was a lot of money. And for pesos, that's a lot of money. Like, in the time, I was like, if he says yes, I can buy a motorcycle like after 2 videos. What? That's a lot. That's awesome. So I was super excited. What happened is, so I sent the message and I couldn't believe it. He said, okay, that sounds cool. Can you do invoices? I couldn't believe it. I fucking screamed. I jumped. I was so ecstatic because he said yes. I aimed high and he said, like, yeah, no problem. Like, it's nothing. And I couldn't fucking believe it. It was so cool. But he asked me if I could do invoices. I didn't know what invoices meant. I thought it was like, oh yeah, you mean like a ticket? I can write you a ticket right now. Don't worry about it. But it's not a ticket. It's like declaring to the government and to, I don't know, to legal people that you are doing this job and paying taxes and all of that. I obviously had zero of that. I explained him, like, no, I have no idea what you're talking about, and we find a way to work it out. I did that job. I did the first video, and it was chaotic. It went so bad. This dude was not good to work with. I tried to really impress him. So cool. Thank you, Danya. I really tried to impress him. I tried to do the best video I could. I really wanted something that exploded and that was really nice. I show him like a first 15 seconds just so he gets an idea. And he told me, no, this is too much. This is not at all what I like. This is not at all what I want. I just want this. I try a second version. I send it. He doesn't like. No, this is not what I like. Blah, 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 blah. Another version. I did that 7 times. 7 different versions. I was fighting with the guy. It was chaos. I was just so stressed. Like, the dude was like angry, disappointed. I was angry because, like, this dude had me work so hard for a video that wasn't going anywhere. It was a mess. But finally we managed to make it work, and I finished the 7th version, and he finally liked it. But then getting paid was another big mess. He took a bunch of time. I fought with the guy. It was a mess. Clients are hard, but well, the point is, I worked on that, and it was great because I figured out, wait, I can do money with videos. I can make it, like, I can live from this. What the fuck? This is crazy. If I can do this now, imagine what I can do when I'm good at it. So I took another job as a summer camp that I really enjoyed. It was fun, but that was just pure enjoyment. And meanwhile, I was also doing videos, and I decided I want to go to film school because, okay, it went really well with this client, but I want to do it professionally. So I can do videos. I'll go to film school. I'll go to the University of Videos to become a professional videographer. Sounds like a great idea. I'm going to go to Europe. So after the gap year, I moved to Europe and I went to this film school. But then the film school started and I hated it. I fell in a big depression for 5 months. I didn't like Belgium. I didn't like the people I was hanging out. with. I didn't like the university. The university was just so outdated. It wasn't a bad university. Don't get me wrong. I think it was pretty good for film productions with like 50 people or 10 people, just everybody in their little post doing their job, and with a director, with an editing team, with a production team, with a photo director, with all of that. And it's a different type of production, but that's for movies. And they were teaching me things that are old, like things, the rules that are known to be the rules of film for the last, I don't know, 40 years. And it just felt so bad, because if I'm honest, I grew up knowing video by YouTube. I grew up knowing the new era of videographers, which is fast paced, which is not necessarily all perfect, but it's more honest, which is, well, that's what it used to be. Now it's not necessarily honest, but that's another topic. The point being, it felt outdated, and it felt like it didn't make sense, because I discovered that I could make money just by making my videos, and these guys are telling me, no, you need to, this whole production, there's these rules that you have to follow. No, you need to do this test before so you can prove that you can do it. No, you need to do it this way and not that way. You need to do all of these things that are unnecessary. So I didn't like it. I was paralyzed, because I was supposed to be studying what I liked, but I hated it. I hated every second that I was spending there, and everybody was like, and I started like to feel really depressed. I didn't want to wake up. I didn't want to get out of bed. I didn't want to do anything. Everything sounded just blurred out and gray. I didn't like myself anymore, because I wasn't doing any more YouTube, because it was spending all my time just doing. I was spending all my time doing the university, and I didn't like it. So my whole life was a mess. My dude, glad you're back streaming. What are we talking about? What's up, Zazie Bruce? Welcome back. Right now we're talking, we're doing a live podcast, and I'm talking about my career, like what to do after school, and if you're in university, what to do after university, what to do with your life, your career. And right now I'm in the phase of sharing my life story after school, and how did I get to this place. Then we're gonna have all the subjects in the same matter. But yeah, that's the subject of today. If you want, guys, if you want to jump in, give your opinion on anything, you can always do it. Don't be shy. I'm always up for conversation. So yeah, let's go back to this. I got to the point where I was completely depressed, and I started to think I should get out of there. I should quit the university and start working, because I figured out, hey, I can do this without the university. I know I can learn faster without the university. I know I can do more without the university. I know I can get clients and get paid well without the university. Why am I still here? And everybody told me to not do it. My parents told me to not do it. My friends told me to not do it. That if you want to do it, at least you need a diploma in some way, some sort of form. You need to get to university. You need a diploma to get a successful life. That's what everybody was told me. That's what I've been taught my whole life. Everybody told me, yeah, you need that. And I believed it. I went to work when I was 16. I went to work as the guy that puts the groceries in the bags in Mexico. I did that for many months, and I built a computer with the money. It was really nice. It was my first job. I'm pretty proud of it, but it was a shit job. And many people were there, like there were kids working there, but they were also old people, and also a bunch of people that were not necessarily old, and everybody was miserable there. And what I realized is, like, you need to study to not work here. You need to study to not have to work here. And that might be true, but then I discovered I don't need this. And everybody was telling me, no, you need a diploma. You need to, one, if you want to quit, that's okay, but just get into something else. Get to study something else. And I didn't wanna. I want to start working. I knew I could do better without it. And everybody was telling, my friends, my parents, my teachers were like, no, that's a bad idea. My colleagues were like in school were like telling me, no, it's a bad idea. But the reality is like none of them really knew. They were just regurgitating what they thought they knew. They were influenced in the same way I was influenced. They were just trying to influence me because obviously they wanted to help me. They wanted to give me the good advice and what they thought was true. But the thing was, they didn't knew it was true because of experience. They just knew because they heard that many times that they got influenced that. So I have to say I didn't got the guts to do it. For a long time I was miserable and I just couldn't quit. I didn't have the balls. Everyone was telling me, but it didn't got better, and I slowly got worse and worse with my emotions. I got more and more depressed till the point where I collapsed. I just felt so bad. I just felt so freaking bad after a fight with my parents. I just left the house. I went to the streets in the night. I went to a park and I fell to the ground and I couldn't stop crying. I called a friend and I couldn't stop crying. I just hated everything. I didn't want to leave anymore. Um, and that's where I decided I'm gonna quit. And I did quit. And it was, to this day, probably the best decision I've ever made. It was, yeah, I would say the best decision I've ever made in my whole life. The thing that everybody was telling me to not do was not only the right thing to do, but the best thing I could have done. And that's fucking crazy if you think about it. Like, if behind the thing that seems to be wrong is the rightest thing. I don't know. I think it's pretty nice and poetic and crazy. But well, I did it. I left. I took another job. Obviously, like my parents said, there's two rules: or you study or you work. So I took another job as a waiter. It was really funny because my dad, obviously, I got lazy for like a month. But my dad was like, you need to get a job, you need to get a job, you need to get a job. Come on, get the fuck out and get a job. It's not going to be that easy to find a job. Get a job as a waiter, as whatever. Just get a job. I'm not going to be paying for your bullshit anymore. And that was completely fair, but I was being lazy. And I was like, Dad, don't worry about it. It's easy to get a job. Yeah, it's easy. And one day he snapped and was like, come on, fuck off, go get a job right now. And he told me to leave the house. And I was like, Dad, it's easy. Don't worry. Give me a second. I went to the corner of the house, like 2 streets away. I went to the corner. There was this burger restaurant. I asked them, hey, I'm looking for a job. I have the student ID kind of for now because I'm still legally a student, even if I'm not going to the university anymore. And I'm looking for a job. And I told them what they wanted to hear. Like I said, just, hey, I'm available all the time. I want to work a lot and I'm really motivated. I'm good at talking with people and I'm easy to learn. And he told me, okay, come tomorrow. I was like, to have an interview. And he said, no, to sign the papers. You're going to work here. And I was like, oh, cool. And I gave him my CV and I started working the next day. And I came with my dad with the most smug face in the world. I was like, look what I found. And it just felt great. It just felt fantastic to be like, hey, look, I told you. And I started working there. It was a hard job. Being a waiter is fucking hard. But I did it for like 2 months and it was okay. Like in Europe, the difference is in Mexico when you work, no matter like if you work as an employee, generally speaking, you get paid nothing. Like it's a joke, the amount of money that you get paid, so it's unuseful. But here, no matter what you do, you get paid really well and you can live a pretty decent life with whatever they're paying you. So it's fantastic. So yeah, I was working there, making some money, and at the side I was doing YouTube. And not only that, I was also trying to get a bit of clients here and there. And I had a good level there. Like I was becoming really good at making videos. And that showed in my clients, and my client base started to grow. And slowly but surely, I started to transition into living and becoming independent by doing just videos and not having to have a 9-to-5 job. I could just do videos with my clients and generate enough money every month. And what did happen? Because my videos were good, I didn't really have to search that much clients. Obviously, I did a lot of free jobs to get my foot in the door. but I like this. They kept on recommending me because my product was good, and I just I just slowly transitioned and started getting some jobs that I liked and some more clients, meeting more people. And since that day, I've been doing that. I've been an independent little boy doing videos and living the shit out of life, doing whatever I want and gaining a okay amount of money. I'm not rich in any way. I'm shit at managing my money, but I'm getting better by the day. And I've lived an incredible life. I've been living my dream. I love what I do every single day. And I like, obviously there's sad days still. I'm still human. But yeah, I'm happy. I'm truly happy. Behind the door where that everybody told me to not do it, which was quit school, was the solution and was not like the best decision I could ever do. And now I'm really happy. It's crazy. So I just follow my dream, per se, but it is, and now I'm happy. I can do it. It's possible. So yeah, maybe they're lying to you. I don't know. So yeah, that was my story of how did I become a videographer, and now I film everything that I want. I live an incredible life. I'm really happy, and I can do whatever I want, and I'm trying to become a videographer. So yeah. Is anyone still here? I don't know. How you guys doing? That was the story. Did you like it? Did you not? Did it become boring all of a sudden? Did you learn anything? Your story is amazingly inspiring, dude. Oh, thank you. That's really nice to say. I think, I don't know. It's kind of that aspect is kind of weird, you know, because I don't know how I got here. Obviously, I worked and whatever, but generally speaking, it was mostly luck. And now that I'm living the shit out of life, and I'm living this crazy life, and like you say, it's kind of inspiring. And then suddenly I get some friends that tell me like, hey, like the reason why I got the motivation to do this or do that or follow my dream or take my own decisions or become independent. All of that is like because I saw you and you did it and it worked, and you were kind of the living proof that it's possible. And it's fucking weird because I'm just a normal dude. I didn't do anything crazy. I wasn't supposed to be anything amazing. I wasn't supposed to be anything special. I was just another guy in school. And it just worked out for me. But now it inspires people, some friends, some people close, and it's nuts. It's nuts for me. I still can't comprehend it. Do you have any regrets along the way with any decisions or stuff you didn't do? That's a good question, dude. Thank you for asking. No, I don't think so. It's hard to have regrets when you're really satisfied with where you are now. Generally, regrets comes when you're not happy now. We pinpoint at the past to find an excuse for the present that we're not happy now. Oh, it's because of that. I regret that thing. But the reality is no. That right now I'm happy and I don't feel any regret. What regret? No, I just everything worked out really good. I'm super happy, and it's weird. I just got lucky, so I don't feel regret. And I think it's also like regret. I think it's so unuseful because like yeah, learn about your mistakes and whatever, but don't dwell on it. Just let them go, and that's it. Try to make the best out of today, and create a today that is worth living. So you don't have to regret anything. If you were not doing video, what do you think you would be doing today as a job? If you were not doing videos, what do you think you would be doing today as a job? It's a good question, dude. I don't know. I could there's a lot of options. If I would have just completely focused on what school proposed and the whole path of that, I would be doing math. and I would probably be miserable. Yeah, I don't know. Like all the other paths sounds like my demise. It was so easy. Like I really feel like if I would have done anything else, like I'm not saying I wouldn't be happy doing music or art or something else, but I think if it would have been so easy to not get where I am today. Like there's so many luck aspects that led me to where I am today, that and all the other path just sounds like I would have been asleep. Like if I would have done and followed the school path and done math or engineering or marketing or economy, all of that, I feel like I would today be asleep. I would be just a little half version of myself, and I don't think I would truly be alive. But maybe I would. I don't know. I can't know. But what would I be doing? Probably still studying and unsatisfied with what life is giving me. Yeah, I don't know. I think it would not be good. um, David Samorov, nice. So top below. What would you like to tell your teachers when you look back now? If you, I think you that's Thank you for the question, Beatrice. That's what is extra life? What is extra life? What do you mean by extra life? Unle. I don't know what you mean, but well, what would I tell my professors if I went back? That's a good question. I don't know. Like they were just trying to do their best. I don't think they were necessarily bad. They were just trying to give me the advice that they thought was true. And I don't know. I don't really care about them, to be honest. To be like, look, I did it. Because I still don't think I did it. I just think I had a good life. And there's other ways to do it. I don't think they're worth it to really go and talk with them. I would like to go with the professors of school that told me that I wasn't gonna manage to pass my exams and stuff like that. That was really nice to go. But to be honest, I went like not so long ago. I went to Mexico and I went to talk with the director of the school that I used to know and people from the school. And you have this fantasy build up that when you're gonna arrive with these people and talk to them and be like, hey, yeah, my life has been amazing. Actually, I've done this and done that, and I went to Dubai and all of that, those accomplishments. The reality is, they don't give a shit. Like they're nice enough to tell you, oh wow, that's good. I'm really happy for you or whatever. But it's so unsatisfying. It's so lame when they do finally listen to how great your life has been, because they have 100,000 other fucking kids to worry about. They don't care anymore about you. So yeah, I don't know. I don't think I would go back and tell these professors how great my life is now. I don't think that you're lucky. You're one of the most driven people I know. So I'm sure it's all your merit, and I think you should be more proud of your progress, because dude, damn, your journey is epic. Oh, that's super nice to say. Like what? I don't know. I think there's a symptom called the imposter syndrome or something like that goes around that idea that I can't find a way to feel like any accomplishment that I've had truly is mine, truly was like this. I deserve it, because I feel like it all comes down to luck. Yeah, I did put on the hours, and I did work hard to get here, and I did learn a lot of things. But why did I put the hours? Because I got influenced by many other persons to work hard, or I was in this place at that right moment, and I heard this thing that led to that thing. I think it's a bunch of different influences and moving parts that lead you to one specific place in the world. And of course, I believe that at the end, I can tell you, quit school, follow your dreams, and do whatever you want. But the reality is, I still believe in hard work. That's the I think that goes above everything in this subject, because it's simple. You can dream about whatever you want. You can have a bit of talent. You can be good at some stuff. But the world is merciless. And if you don't work, if you don't put out the hours, if you don't do what other people are not doing, if you don't put more hours than the other people, I'm sorry, but you're not going to get to where you want to be. And you can be really brave. You can quit whatever you want and go do and take a bunch of risks, but nothing will replace the amount of hours that you put or didn't put. So go out there. Like, you want to make it safe. You want to take a risk and make it safe. It's easy. Time and work. That's it. You want to accomplish anything? Just put time and work in the equation, and anything is fucking possible. It's not that complicated. It's not complicated. You just work hard for a bunch of time, and anything will work. I'm not a YouTuber yet. I haven't worked out hard enough to be a YouTuber yet. I worked hard enough to be a videographer and become independent and be free and have my dream. But I haven't put on the work to be a YouTuber at all. I'm not a YouTuber. I didn't put the time or the hours. I've done it for enough time, but I didn't put the work. I've done it for 6 years. I've been doing YouTube for 6 years, but I have put 150 videos. That's it. That's nothing. Like, yeah, I've done a bunch of videos, but not enough, and not enough constant. So if you don't get the results that you're expecting, maybe be honest with yourself and think like, okay, have I put out the work, or have I been enough patient? If any of those two are not, if any of those two are not, if you can't answer correctly any of those two, well, there you go. You have your answer. That's why. Yeah, there's a percentage of luck that always comes included. You need a percentage of luck, but luck comes and goes. It will always come. It always comes, but if there's no work in the equation, nothing will happen. So yeah, but thank you so much for telling me that my journey is epic. I think it's epic too. I feel pretty proud of it, but I also feel like I don't want to scream like, yeah, I'm the best. I put on the work and I put on the hours that you didn't put. I just want to be humble and be like, I don't have no fucking clue how I'm here. How I got so lucky to have all the things that I have. It's too much. My life right now is too good to be true. And most of the days I can't fucking believe it. And yes, I worked, but wow, it's fucking crazy. Okay, so let's like in the same subject. Let's go to the second part that I wrote. I wrote a list of parts of things to talk about. So let's go to the second part, which is what I think about the normal path. So there's this. When you are in school, right? You are in this normal path. You were born and you were thrown in school for 18 years, or the amount of years that you went to school. And this path is the normal path. We can imagine it as this line that is predetermined by the system. And this line works really well for most people. It works okay for people. It moves them along. It makes them work. It makes them go from point A to point B without getting to move down. You go to school, you finish your exams, you choose one of the many options of universities that you have. You finish that university, you get a diploma that says, hey, you're worth something, in theory. You can do things that other people can't do, which is not really true because a lot of people can do that too. But hey, look, you can do that, and then you get a job, which is really cool, and because after university you have to start working, because you can't just take a break, and because you need money to survive, so you need to start working, and you can't work on anything. You already worked 5 years or more or 3 years to get this diploma, so you need to work on that thing. So now you get a job into that thing, and you work hard, and you're like, you might like it, you might not. If you don't like it, you might hope for a better tomorrow, or maybe later I'm gonna quit it or get a thing that I like more, that makes me happier. But you always invest for tomorrow. You wait, and in most cases you get a family, and now you have the pressure of maintaining your kids, and that's where shit gets really stuck, and it's really hard to be like, hey, I'm gonna quit my job and follow my dreams. That's really hard. So you start maintaining your family, you have to take care of other people, and tarin, you die at 65 because you've been smoking cigarettes your whole life because you've been stressed. That's, I would say, the normal path, right? Hello, human male 69. Do you use wet wipes before regular toilet paper or the country? The country. Wet wipes goes after the normal regular paper. You first wipe with the with the normal paper because you need to take the quantities, and then you need to make it really clean so any human that passes by there can see a little blink from the shininess of your asshole. It's really important. Why do you use wet wipes, Felix? That's a good question. There's this lovely lady that influenced me to do so, and it's also really way more clean. Like, come on, guys, it's poop. Like, I still believe that with normal paper you can clean it good, but if we're honest with each other, like sometimes it doesn't clean that good, and like a good wet wipe, just come on. There's a say that my dad often says when I clean the bathroom, when I clean the toilet, and he ordered me like, go clean it, and he asked me like, is it clean enough? And I would say yeah, and he would say like, if you can't lick it, it's not clean enough. So that also applies to assholes. If you can't clean it, it's not clean enough. That's really fucked up. But yeah, he would say that with the toilet, and I would not lick it, but he would tell me, come on, bitch, is it clean? Lick it. So yeah, my dad is a bit fucked up. But yeah, you can lick buttholes if they're clean enough. That's another subject for another day. I've been thinking about this morning. It's a good question. Hey, does he go first the paper or does he go first the wet? But it's logical. Come on, first you go with the paper that is dry, and you take the quantities, and then you go with the wet wipe to leave it clean and fresh. Why do you don't use wet wipes batteries? It's more sanitary. He used them because of me. Yes, I do use wet wipes thanks to batteries. So I'm sorry, Zazie Bruce, but you got your answer just there. It's fresh. It's fresh it up. Yes. So, returning to the real conversation, not the wet wipes. As much as I really like, I'm gonna go search a little cup of water, guys. I'll be right back, okay? Give me a tiny second, please. Yes, sir. We are back, baby. We are back. Tan, 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 tan. Is anyone still here? I don't know. I need some water. I started to feel like my nose all clogged up. Oh, got it. Good trip. So yeah, wet wipes are important, guys. Use wet wipes. It's important. My parents just made fun of me because we use wet wipes, and it's like, come on. It's like, Life liquid. Do you mean like the thing Oh, that thing, how is it called? The little thing to clean your asshole. It's a like in some countries, in some places, there's the bathroom, so the toilet, and in the side there's like a little, like a kind of like a mini bath, but it's supposed to be to clean your asshole with water. I didn't know that. My whole life, when I was a kid and I didn't want to shower, they were like, "Hey, just clean your feet," and I was like, in the thing to clean your asshole. But I didn't know it was for asshole. I thought it was to clean feet because it just was perfect for that. So I just used it my whole life to clean my feet. But apparently, it's to clean your asshole. And in Dubai, they had this like hose like beside of the toilet, and you just use it to clean your asshole, and it does work great. But if you're not used to it, it's a bit weird. I would like to test the Japanese one that has like a little stick inside the the toilet that just comes out and sprays your butthole. That would be nice. That sounds like really enjoyable, but because it's clean, not yes, you got it. Okay, so all my good man, gotta stay hydrated. It's important to stay hydrated. Yes. Oh, life liquids. That's why you're talking. Oh, yeah, you're talking about water. Sorry, human. Uh, a bit slow today. Congrats, David. When I come to visit you, I will bring you some from Austria as a gift. Instead of chocolates and flowers, I will stand in front of your door with a family pack of wet wipes. Get ready, dude. That sounds like a good plan. We need some wet wipes. This is not information that you need, guys, but you get for free. Oh, Olympiaculos. Yes, Japano is a step ahead. Japan is smart. Go on. Let's go back to the classic line of life. So you're in this path, and so like I explained, there's this path, the classic path that most people would go through because they won't decide to follow their own path. They just follow what they've been told is the right path, which is university, work, family, death. What do I think about this path? Obviously, I'm a bit anti that path because I've realized that they try to influence me that, and then when I decided to not do it, I found an amazingly fulfilling life. So realizing that that path wasn't really good for me and that it would lead me to damnation and that I managed to escape it and I'm so happy now. It's a bit tragic to see that most people, friends, family, and other people will go through that path and will be probably miserable on it. Is a bit tragic. I still can't really do anything to take them out of there because it's a decision that you have to take yourself. You have to take the initiative to be like, hey, I don't want to go to university. I'm gonna do my own thing. Or even if you go to university, I'm gonna do my own thing and not be an employee. I want to do my own company, or I want to be independent. Like there's different variants of it, but to take life by the balls, it's a bit. It's something that is not easy to do because it's something that is really ingrained in our brains. We need to go to university to get a good job and get a successful life, which is a complete lie. We don't. You don't. Here's what I believe. I believe most of university degrees, like I don't know how many they are, but I would say most are complete horseshit. But not all of them. Of course, there's a couple of degrees that are completely necessary to society. For example, doctor, engineer, architect. Those degrees that need to prove that you're able to execute an action without killing the person that is trusting you. You need a degree to prove that. If you don't have that, society wouldn't really work. So in those cases, completely agree. They're a bit too long. Like I've seen medicine can really go like to become a doctor. You can spend like 11 years. It's something fucking crazy. But you do you, boy. Cheers. I think The reality is, most people will follow this path because it's not easy to get out of it, and it will work for most people because most people are not supposed to, I don't know, stand out, be happy. I don't know. The world is built in a way that the more controllable and gullible they are, the humans, the better. So maybe I think that's why it's so hard to get out of that, because the world is influencing you to do that. Society. Look, what I would recommend is this. If you're not sure you want to study engineering or math or literature or whatever those normal university paths are, if you're not completely sure, if you're not motivated, inspired, and you're not passionate about doing it, take a gap year. Take some time. Take as much time. Take 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, and work. Go to work, do a bunch of different activities, explore the world, do a bunch of things. Work on a shitty little restaurant, make a bit of money, explore the world, and visit your friends, and get hobbies, try life, experience life. Why? Because, like I said, when you're in school, you've been in school your whole life. You don't you haven't stopped thinking of school. You haven't stopped thinking of the exams. Yeah, you've spent some time with your friends and all of that, but your life has been structured around school your entire life. And taking a big decision that will impact your entire life, it's a bit a weird system, to be honest. It's a bit suspicious that they put it that way, that they don't give you a bit of time to really think about it. There's just jump at it. And the generally speaking, in the big universities, taking a gap year, like if you want to be in the best university of engineering, stuff like that, taking a gap year is not good. So yeah, a bit influence towards that. So I would recommend take some time and look at first what life really is. Like, how does life work? How do you manage to get €1, $1? What's the value of money? How does it work? How life work? How do I get a job? How do people get job? How do people pay taxes? How do all of that shit that are boring as fuck? Just do, and you'll start to experience life how it really is, and start to really see things how they are instead of how they told you they are. And maybe then you might be like, hey, I don't want to follow the normal path. I don't know. I would say generally I'm not the biggest fan of the normal path. So yeah, gap years are really cool. They're scary to do. I was really scary to get in a gap year because they get this bad rap of the lazy joint smoker type of guy that doesn't do anything with their life and just goes around life being lazy. And after the gap year is it's like they just waste more time. One of my professors, I remember at school, he told me really clearly when he thought about the people that he was criticizing, people that were taking a gap year, and he was like really, you were gonna take a gap year after school? Like, you have no idea. Like, this is the easy part. Like, you don't even know how university is gonna be. It's gonna be way 10 times harder. Now you want to take a break, and he was criticizing like it's a break, but the reality is like, no, I'm just taking a bit of time to figure out where I want to invest my time and energy in. So if you see it like that, I would really recommend to take a gap year. It's never a bad idea, I think, because we often think, and parents will think, no, you can't waste time. You need to are your young years, your youth. You need to use them as best as you can and go straight to work and like go to university, and don't waste your time. You're not gonna be young forever. But the reality is, it's so stupid, because you can be fucking 35, as long as you don't have kids. You still have most of your life to do whatever. You can restart your life at 35 and you'll be fine. You'll have enough time to do the things that you need to do. So there's no rush. You can be 25 and still not know anything about what you want to do. Most people don't. Most people pretend to know, but they don't in reality. What do you think about people who study because of family pressure or just because they don't know what to do? Good question. Um, I think that's sad. I'm sorry, but that's sad. Not sad for the person that is studying, because that's the victim. I see it as the victim because we're not all so lucky to have a good family that is supportive and will support us no matter what we want. Most people are in families that have parents that want to control their kids of the lives of their kids, and I think that's so fucked up. I think it's so sad because you have this really easily moldable kid that just came out of school that has been granted the freedom to choose, and they instead of really supporting him in that hard decision, they go ahead and like force them to 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 choose, even if they don't know. If it like choose one of the options, any option, doesn't matter. It's like, come on. Like they are, you need to support them, not guide them. You're not supposed to be the guide or even the selector of their future. You just need to be a support system, and he will figure it out with enough time. But most parents are not good. Most parents are not good. Let's be honest. Most parents, like, I'm a pretentious little twat that I think that I know better about parenting than a parent that has been parent for 18 years. Of course, yes. But as let's look at logically. Most humans are not good humans. Most humans are pretty shitty. I've been human and I've been a participant of society, but they're granted the freedom to take kids and like to have kids and to have the responsibility to educate a kid. We can't expect that most parents will be good. Most parents are shit at parenting. It's a fact. I'm pretty sure about it. But yeah, who am I to tell you? I'm 22 and I think I'm no better about parenting than parents. But I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be better at parenting than most of them, because I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try harder. I know I will. So pretentious. But good question, my dude. So if your parents, look, I would say if your parents are telling you to do this or that, they're forcing you to choose a path that doesn't really motivate you hard, I would say send them to fuck themselves. Like, but nicely. Don't tell them to fuck themselves. But be like, Dad, look, I like you have an opinion on my life. It's really nice that you think you have one, but you don't. And I'm gonna follow my path, and maybe you can follow a bit the advice of Gary Vee and all of that. He's good at influencing to send your parents to fuck themselves. Like he says, it's really nice. Like, you can send them to fuck themselves, follow your path. But the reality is, if you want to do that, you also have to understand that comes included with not having their financial support. Because if you want their financial support, but you also don't want to do what they're telling you, that doesn't work. If you want to do whatever you want to be doing, you need to become a certain level of independence, and you can do it. Depends where you live, but generally speaking, if you live in Europe or in a non-third world country, you can work a side job and study at the same time, and you'll be fine. I know a lot of people that do it, and they have been fine, and you will feel way more free. Even if it's harder, you will feel way more free and proud than if you just do whatever your parents tell you and you have their financial freedom. I'm not telling you it's easy to send them to fuck themselves, but I'm telling you that will lead to great things. Yeah, I had another advice, but I forgot it. Let's say, like I said, I would really recommend you, if you don't know what to do with your life and what to study after school, I would really recommend to work. Do a bunch of things that you hate doing, a bunch and vary, and quit. I quit. Like, I would recommend to quit and get fired so many times. Doesn't matter. It's jobs. Jobs are not that important. Just quit as soon as it becomes boring. Just quit as soon as you realize, hey, this is not what I want to be doing with my life. Just quit. quit as many times as you want for as long as you want, because you have a bunch of time, and it's just a bunch of jobs that don't matter. And it's even gonna be good for your CV, because you're gonna seem like, like he has all of this experience in all of these different places and branches. He has learned so many, even if they're short, and that technically is not super good for the people that are hiring you. The fact that you have a bunch of different experiences in places, it does help you stand out. So it's good for normal, boring 9 to 5 jobs that don't require a diploma. So I would recommend to do a bunch of jobs. Doesn't matter in what, do a bunch of shit that you hate, because it would slowly but surely guide you towards the thing that you truly want to be doing with your time. Because you can be doing anything, and that's a bit hard and overwhelming. So instead of trying to figure out what you want to do with this freedom that you can do anything, just do anything. Just like, even if you don't like it, just do a shitty job, and it will slowly guide you towards what you really want to do. Yeah, so let's go back a bit to questioning and like, what's up, guys? What do you think? Are you having fun? It's been a long podcast, but I think it's been a good one. I think it's been flowing really well. The live stream with you guys, and I like the questions. The room is really vivid. So thank you for everyone that is watching right now the live stream and listening to this nice conversation of what to do after life. Remember, you can ask me, even if I'm a 22-year-old egocentric little twat, I maybe can give you some advice that will help you. So don't be afraid to ask. And it's not just about like what to do after school, because yeah, I put that as a title, but in reality it's like what to do with life. What do you want to do with your life? And if you don't know what you want to do with your life, if you're in university and you're not completely convinced what to do with your life, to be honest, you don't have to know. It's what was it? It was Casey Neistat that said, life is divided into big parts, big chunks. The first part is to finding what you love to do, and the second part is to doing that for the rest of your life, or till you don't like it anymore. The problem is finding what you want to do, what you like to do, is really freaking hard, and most people will never search it, but some people will search it but never find it, and some people will search it but find it super late and have a bit of time to enjoy it. It's hard to find what you love, so you better start now, because it's not gonna get easier with time passes. You have to start searching now. And so yeah, super fun. What do you think about no, it's nice. I actually wanted to ask you, what was the shittiest job that you did? What was the shittiest job I did? H&M was H&M was okay. Like working in H&M, it's a clothes brand, was okay. It was just execution. Like, I don't know. The restaurant was the most stressful one. Working as a waiter was the most stressful one. It was really hard, and I have a lot of respect for those people, because in the peak hours, it like you go, it don't stop, and it's really really impressive, and it's super stressful. But the shittiest, I don't know. I don't know, putting the groceries in the bags. Like, I love that job, because it was the first job that I had, and it actually made me a good amount of money, because you didn't get paid you didn't have a salary. I was 16. You get paid, like the people that you put the bags on, they give you like 5 pesos, 2 pesos, 10 pesos sometimes, and if you smile pretty and all of that, maybe sometimes they give you 50 pesos and you give them a little kiss in the cheek. You obviously don't. But yeah, I don't know, waiter is hard, so I wouldn't recommend to be a waiter unless you want to go hard. It's nice. I actually wanted to ask, Beatrice, what kind of jobs do you think should everyone try? Like a starter pack for people who don't know what to do? That's a good question. Thank you. Okay, so starter packs of jobs to do if you don't know what to do with your life and you have a gap year and you want to test a bit life. Obviously, I would generally try to aim for a job that has something that you can learn from or test from that interested you. Like for example, if you've always been like, oh, maybe I would like to be rich, or maybe I would like to start my startup or have a company or something like that, maybe you can try to find something that goes around marketing, economies, or stuff like that. Even if you're not gonna straight away be a seller or something like that, maybe you can be an assistant of a rich person or something like that. So search a job that has to do with something that interests you, so you can get any information towards if you like it or not as a career. But jobs that are necessary to understand life and the value of what €1 is and how do you get that. Waiter is fantastic because you get it's a hard job. It's a hard job and it's shitty. It gets paid well here in Europe, luckily, but it's shit. It's really intense. It's really demanding. So yeah, like shitty hard jobs will really show you what what's the value of €1 and the minimum wage, and what do you get, like how much do you have to work to get the minimum wage. Because here in Europe it's really nice, you work hard and you get paid. It's fantastic. In Mexico the difference was you work hard, you still don't get paid. You get paid. When I was working in Decathlon, it was funny. I was working half time and I had like sometimes 30 minutes to eat, and I would go eat in like close to the Decathlon. So they would pay me 3,000 pesos a month. 3,000 pesos, if you know, it's like 150 euros a month for half time work. But you have to still eat. So and eating would cost like 100 pesos a day, more or less. So technically speaking, I was working, getting money, and that money I was spending in the food to work. So I was working to get money to be able to work. And that's a lot of what life is about in these days, and it's really fucked up. So it's an important thing to realize. Felix giving kisses at the supermarket just when they asked me to bring it to their cars and we're in the dark, and they're like, hey, I will give you 50 pesos if you give me a little kiss in the cheek. I was young. It's easy money. You can't say no to those. So yeah, I don't know. Starter pack, waiter is good. Working in a store with clothing, it's not that hard. Working in a store of clothing, it's not hard. It's not hard, but the thing that it is, it's extremely repetitive. That's what most of these jobs are, because you don't need a diploma in knowledge to do. You're technically just doing a job that could be done by a robot if it's smart enough. That's the whole point. You don't need to think too much about it. You just need to invest. Like, you're exchanging your time for money. And to be honest, I've been in places in my life where that was pretty good. When I worked at H&M, it was like, 3 years ago. I was pretty sick of like my clients and client work. And I decided I didn't know really what to do with my life. I got a bit lost, so I decided to go and work in H&M because it was nice. Because instead of just wasting my time trying to figure out what to do with my life, at least I could think of that while working and exchange my time for money, and that's pretty useful. So yeah, let's continue with the list. Okay, here's another advice that I would give. It doesn't apply with everything. I agree, in some situations it's not the best, but here's how I see it. I would recommend you to aim for a job and not a career. Was it that? No. I would recommend you to aim for a job, not a study, not a university. Generally, when we finish school, we are usually going towards something that we like. Oh, well, I like engineering. I like robots and stuff like that. So I'll study engineering. But the thing is, we rarely are like, oh, I like this job. I like being a assistant, or well, that's the worst job example I could have given, but I like to be a music producer, or a event or organizer. I'm really bad at finding jobs. Oh my god! But well, if you, I think it's easier to generate a good path that would lead you somewhere if you first try, instead of thinking of a study of a thing to study, you start to think more of a job that you would like to have. Because the reality is, like, as much as you like studying something, that doesn't mean you would like working on it. Working and studying are two different things, and life is way more different than what you do in university. It's cool, university, yeah, it kind of simulates life to a certain degree, but life is quite different. It's quite merciful. So I would recommend for you to just search for jobs that you would like to do. It doesn't have to be a specific job, but kind of an area of expertise that you would like, and see the careers that could lead you to that. Because, yeah, I don't know, like, most people are like, yeah, I like selling, or I like marketing, and they get into marketing just because they don't know a specific job, but that career can lead you to a bunch of different jobs. But I'm not sure if that really gets you closer to a happy ending, because you end up university and now, okay, you have your diploma that can give you a bunch of different jobs, but you still don't know what you like. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't think that's really good. What do you think about that? Do you agree? Do you disagree? I maybe, like, I don't know. I don't think most people generally aim for just studying something that they like and then figure out what job they want to get. I would look at it the other way. But what do you think, guys? Meanwhile, I would also tell you to be realistic about dreams. I think it's really... Oh, the TV just turned off. I think, like I said, you want to accomplish your dream, you have this dream and all of that. It's really nice. I'm not telling you it's not possible, because, hey, look, I'm living a dream and it was possible. The only thing is, if you want to really do it, don't live in dreamland thinking that if you really think about it, or you really you really dream about it, the law of attraction will bring it to you. No, the reality is, you want this dream that is hard to achieve. Fuck, it will require you a bunch of work and a bunch of doing all the things that the other 99% that people that didn't accomplish it didn't do. If only the 1% of the people are accomplishing that dream that you want, you have to do what the 1% is doing, not what the 99% is doing. So be realistic of how much work and the effort will take to bring you to what you want. So just be realistic of that. If you wanted your dream, and if you want, go for it. I'm all for going for dreams, and I think it's way more doable than we generally show it in society. But it takes work. It takes a lot of work. So be realistic about it. One last. One last. This is the last advice that I would give. How did the thing that helped me the most to abandon university, the thing that helped me to be okay with taking the risk to follow my path instead of the classic path, or what path they're influencing me. The thing in my mind that really helped me to be at ease with that was, you need to think of the future scenarios and how risky it really is. What's the worst possible scenario that it could go to? In Europe, it's way easier than in other countries like Mexico. In the worst case, in my case, let's give an example of my case. I was in university. If I quit university, in the worst case, what would a happy life would be? What would a day that is in a successful happy life would really need for me? First, let's think about money. Do I really need money? Do I want money? Do I want a lot of money? Do I want to be rich? I don't want to be rich. I don't care about richness. I don't think that's a goal that I want. but I do want enough money to sustain myself. I need money to be stable. So here in Europe, any half-time job will give you enough money to sustain yourself and be pretty comfortable. It's really impressive. So if I work half-time of the day, I'm already having the economies to sustain myself and to not have to think about the money. So that's money is accomplished by just having half of my time spent in any job, any fucking job. So that's not risky. That's easy to do. Then what do I need the rest of the time to fill it with? If I fill it, in my case, with videos, if I fill it with making videos, I'm happy. That's a successful life. I don't need viewers. I don't need clients. I just need to be doing videos. It can even be my videos that don't require the need of anyone. It can be live streaming. So if half of the time I'm working and making enough money, and the other half, which is most of the time, I'm doing videos, that's already a successful life. So in the worst case, that's the case that I don't have clients, that I don't have success. In the worst case, I'm still successful. So if you really think about the future and think about the worst case scenario and realize that it's not that bad and that it can go pretty well, it makes it easier to take the risk. It makes it easier to be like, okay, yeah, I can handle this risk because the worst scenario is not that bad. So yeah, that's what I did, and that helped me with abandoning university and following my dream. And look, it worked. I don't have the worst scenario. I have the best one. I'm freaking happy, and life has gone completely my way, and I can't believe how lucky I am to have this and to be able to do whatever I want. So yeah, that's it. That's the end of the podcast. Thank you guys for listening till this point, whoever is listening. I know this one was a bit longer, but I did enjoy it. We had a nice conversation of 2 hours. I'm so sweaty. But guys, thank you so much. Go check YouTube if you like videos, and see you around, and see you next episode of Pocket Stories. Okay, yeah, that was the outro of the podcast. I could technically stop recording. Was it recording? I hope it was recording. Yes, it was recording. Great. So I don't know if anyone is still listening. Zazie Bruce is still here. Nice. Thank to you, my man. It was pretty cool. Oh, I'm glad you thought it was pretty cool. Been a long time. It's been a long time. Yes, it's been a long time, my dude. But look, I think this felt nice. I like the setup. I like this idea of having a subject of the podcast and kind of following it and still having a nice conversation with you. I'm gonna try to keep on doing it. I always say that, and I always not like end up not doing it, but maybe this time is a good one. So thank you to anyone that watched till here. I think, if I'm completely honest, the MVP is the thing that is right there. The MVP of this stream is going to, drum rolls, Zazie Bro. Yeah, that was pretty obvious. Congrats, Zazie Bro. You're the MVP of this stream. You gave a lot of questions, I got a lot of presents, and you really stood out here. So thank you for being here. Obviously, David Los Santos was here with me, and Beatrice too. Thank you so much for being in the live stream. But well, Zazie Bro, you get the MVP. Your name will be right there in the next one, if I do remember. So congratulations. I'm alive too. You give me the chicken dinner. Oh, maybe we can play video games one day, but I don't know. I like just talking. So guys, thank you so much for listening till this point. Thank you for anyone that participated, and see you in the next episode of Pocket Stories and next live stream. Bye bye. Have a good day.